There's this piece of tech from way back in 2006 that you've almost definitely used today, and you probably had no idea. It's kind of like this invisible engine that powers a massive chunk of the internet, a real silent workhorse that totally shaped the web as we know it. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible story of jQuery.
All right, let's just jump right in with a number that's, well, it's pretty wild. As of 2022, a whopping 77% of the top 10 million websites on the internet are using jQuery. No, that's not a typo, 77%. We're not just talking about some popular little tool here. This thing is an absolute titan of the web.
So, you got to be asking, how on earth did that happen? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. We'll start with its wild popularity, then we're going to rewind the clock to the, let's call it cross-browser chaos that it was created to fix. We'll look at how it actually works, check out its golden age, and then we'll tackle the big question. Is jQuery still relevant today, or is it just a relic? Okay, first up, let's really dig into that number. What does it actually mean for a single library to be that dominant on the web? I mean, the scale here is just mind-boggling. jQuery isn't just a little ahead of the curve. No. It's used 3 to 4 times more than any other JavaScript library out there. It's basically become a foundational piece of the web's infrastructure. You could even say its story is the story of how the modern internet got built. But look, to really get why it got so big, we have to travel back in time. We need to understand the problem it was built to solve. And folks, that problem was pure, unadulterated cross-browser chaos. So picture this. It's the early 2000s. The internet is blowing up, right? But for the poor developers actually building the websites, it was a total nightmare. You had Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, and they were all speaking slightly different versions of JavaScript. It was like trying to have a conversation where everyone's speaking a different dialect. Seriously? A developer could write some code that worked perfectly fine on Internet Explorer, and then they'd open it up in Firefox, and poof, completely broken. So what did that mean? It meant you had to write different, messy code for every single browser just to do one simple thing. It was slow, it was frustrating, and honestly, it was holding the entire web back. But then, right into the middle of all this chaos comes a solution. In 2006, this developer, John Resig, releases a new library, and it promised to change everything. So let's take a look at how jQuery actually works. Okay, so at its heart, jQuery is a JavaScript library. Think of it like a toolkit that makes really complicated stuff easy. Its whole purpose was to take things like, finding something on a page, making an animation, or handling what happens when you click a button, and make it super, super simple. It gave developers one clean set of commands that just worked on every browser, magically. And the whole philosophy behind it was honestly revolutionary because of how simple it was. It basically boiled down every single thing you'd want to do into just 2 steps. Step 1, find something on the page. Step 2, do something to it. That's it. Find it and then change it. So elegant. And check this out. Here's a perfect example. This one little line of code, it finds any button that's labeled continue and just changes the text inside it to next step. That's it. Before jQuery, doing that could have taken a whole bunch of complex, nasty browser-specific code. This was an absolute game changer. And this whole idea led to jQuery's famous motto, which just perfectly sums up the entire point. Write less, do more. Couldn't have said it better myself. And you better believe that promise caught on. I mean, it spread like wildfire. This was the beginning of jQuery's golden age. This was how it conquered the web.
So, starting from its creation back in 2006, jQuery just evolved like crazy. By 2009, it got this super powerful sizzle engine, which made finding things on a page even faster. Then in 2013, it started trimming the fat, It dropped support for really old browsers to boost performance. And believe it or not, it's still evolving today. There's a major new version just around the corner. And what was the result of all that work? Just incredible growth. Look at these numbers. In 2015, it was already running on almost 63% of the top websites. Fast forward to 2021, and that number jumps to nearly 78%. And this wasn't just some flash in the pan. Its popularity kept growing and has stayed that way for more than a decade.
Okay, so that brings us to today. And let's be real, the web has changed a lot since jQuery's golden age. And that leads us to the biggest question of all about its legacy. Is it still a relevant tool, or has it become a relic?
And this is the question at the heart of the debate for developers right now. I mean, with all the awesome advances in browsers and in JavaScript itself, do we even need a library like jQuery anymore?
Well, the arguments against it are pretty strong. You can't deny it. Modern JavaScripts, what people call vanilla JS, can now do most of what jQuery does, right out of the box. And the big one, browsers are finally standardized. So that original problem that made jQuery a hero, it's mostly gone. But the argument for jQuery is still really powerful. That 77% number isn't just because people are lazy. A ton of developers still find its simple syntax saves them a bunch of time. And on top of that, there's this huge ecosystem of plugins, and it's a core part of massive platforms like WordPress.
But here's what I think is the most fascinating part of its whole legacy. You know that $ thing for selecting elements? That was jQuery's style. It was so good, so intuitive, that it literally inspired the creation of the official Selectors API. So something that used to be a special jQuery feature is now a standard, built right into every single modern web browser. How cool is that? jQuery didn't just fix a problem, it actually taught the web a better way to do things.
So that kind of leaves us with this final thought, right? jQuery taught the web a whole new language for interacting with web pages. A language that was so good, so effective, that the web itself, well, it adopted it as its own. So the real question now is, has the student finally become the master?